Hi, everyone. Hey, I want to just start by thanking everyone who's been leaving comments for their amazing messages. I have to say I'm a bit blown away, not only by the sheer volume of comments and questions and all of that are coming in by everyone, but really how just vulnerable and heartfelt and authentic all of your comments are. And it is really touching to me, to be honest, because, you know, when you grow up in an effigistic family, you oftentimes feel so misunderstood and that nobody gets you. And, you know, it's like you're so alone in all of this. And hearing from all of you really helps me too feel like, you know what, I'm not alone in this. There are a lot of people who have experienced the kinds of things that I've experienced and frankly have struggled with a lot of the same stuff that I've struggled with throughout my life. And so what I want to do is on Mondays now, I'm going to just make a quick little video where I read a couple of your comments and then just respond to them, because I think what you are sharing is valuable, and what you're sharing is legit. And I wish that I could just sit down with each one of you and spend some time talking, but it's just impossible, right? I mean, I get 1,000 of these a week. Which is both humbling and also really just kind of reinforces the idea that this is a big issue that just has not been described and hasn't been addressed before now. And so I just try to do whatever I can to answer your questions and respond to your comments. And please know that if I don't respond in the YouTube comments section, or I don't read one of your comments on a video here, that it's not that your message has been lost. Sometimes what I will do is, you know, when several people comment, and there are many of them who, you know, say very similar things and talk about very common themes of what it's like to live with the effects of Effigism, that I might select one of those to read as just an example of one of the comments that is coming in. But please know that I do my very best to read them all. And I also use some AI tools. Like I have ChatGPT go in and just look at all of them and then organize all of your comments and questions and all of that into some themes that I then use to create new videos. Because some of the upcoming episodes on the Dr. Todd Show are coming directly from you. Are really coming directly from your questions and comments, because clearly something is resonating with people, and I want to show up in a way that is the most helpful for you. So having said all of that, let me jump in just to a couple of viewer comments and respond to those. So a viewer shared, I couldn't name what my mother was doing as narcissism, but she absolutely behaved as though her role in my life was to knock me down and keep me small. I gave her decades of my compassion and patience, but I am 60 now, and that's enough trying. I have decided to put myself and my nervous system first. And you know what? I totally get that. One thing as human beings that we need, and I'm going to be talking about this a lot more in upcoming videos, we all have a desire to repair with someone who we love, and particularly like a parent or child. And for that reason, it's like when things have not gone well, when we have been wounded, there is a part of us that just wants there to be some resolution around that, because then it's like, if they can just acknowledge that, oh man, you know what, I know that what I did hurt you and wounded you, and I am so sorry. How can we move forward in a way that, that allows us to heal? Being able to hear that from a parent would be so healing. And unfortunately, parents who are narcissistic or effigistic or have that kind of proxy mediated self-regulation thing happening, they're just incapable of doing that. And so there's just this pattern oftentimes of just trying one more time, and it's just like there may be a little glimpse where a parent seems to be evolving and it gives us a sense of hope, and then we try again and then just get disappointed and rewounded. And so I understand sometimes we have to just have to kind of cut that off and grieve the loss of that relationship so that you can move forward. Because the tragic truth is that the longer that we try to keep, the longer that we try to get some healing and some resolution and some repair from a person who is incapable of giving that, we kind of remain anchored in, kind of get fixed a bit in our own woundedness, and we kind of can't move forward because we're continuing to try to get that healing. And so good for you for setting that boundary and just saying, you know what, I'm done. I just can't. I wish things could be different, but I'm an adult. What you do is on your side of the street. I need to take care of my side of the street. And it's not that I want to be cold or callous. I love you. I wish you all the best. But this dynamic is the only thing that it's serving is just to wound me more. And so I just have to move forward. Another viewer commented, I listened to this twice. Everyone adored my mother and she hated my guts. I'm 66 and she has been gone for 15 years, but I still feel pain from my childhood every day. When your mother did not love you, finding your place in the world is so very difficult. It's like, man, when I hear this stuff, I feel myself responding viscerally, because it's like, I know exactly what you're talking about. And in particular, the comment about, not knowing where to find your place in the world is such a classic experience for somebody who grew up in an effigistic home, right? There's almost this, I don't really know who I am and I don't know where I fit, because it's like every time I try to step out and become something, that gets attacked to the point where it's like I've never experienced like really becoming me and having that celebrated and having that loved. And so what I've been reduced to is what I can do, right? I oftentimes can do this really well, but it's like, but is that really me? I don't know. If somebody asks you, what do you really love? What is it that gives you your life passion? And you look inward, oftentimes there's nothing there. It's just this diffuse cloud of, kind of like, well, I have some inklings of things that I don't like, and there are things that I can do well and things that make me mad and all of that. But there's not really this core sense of who I am and where I fit in the world. And so oftentimes it feels like I just fall into things by accident. And, I do something because I'm good at it, and then all of a sudden there's I become that. But was that really me? Was that really something that I wanted? Is that really my passion? What is my passion? I don't know, because that part of us, that sense of identity of who I am and where I fit in the world, was not only never celebrated and never fostered, but oftentimes it was actually actively undermined. And so thank you for that. And I get it. I get it. And the only thing that I would say to that, in a lot of these, I wish there was a word or a phrase that I can say, this clever little thing that would suddenly make those feelings go away. But the reality is that there just isn't. The only thing that we can do in some of these circumstances is we just need to learn where to put those feelings. Give that a container, grieve around that, so that those don't become kind of the guiding force in our life, right? We have a place to put that. And one of the things that is helpful, I think, about the whole effigistic construct is like, all right, this concept of effigism and understanding how that works allows us to reposition some of those negative feelings and some of that shame and all of that back onto where it belongs. It's like, it is not us. And the one last thing that I just want to comment, and you guys are probably going to hear me say this a lot, when you talk about you still feel the pain of childhood every day, and that is because that the woundedness that you experienced was integrated into your core self, right? And attachment injuries that we experience in childhood just don't go away on their own. Right? There are people I hear sometimes who are like, dude, that happened 50 years ago. Why can't you just let it go? And it's like, well, you can't let it go because there's a difference. There's a difference between if a neighbor stole your bike, right? For example, and you felt betrayed and all of those kinds of things. But it's like a couple years later, you're not even thinking about that bike anymore, right? Because that instance, that event didn't necessarily shape your core sense of self. It wasn't something that actually damaged who you are as a human being, in the same way that some of the injuries that we receive from our parents leave a permanent impression on the structure of ourself or the disrupted structure of ourself. And so it's not something that we can just go, oh yeah, I just forgive them and it's over. What we have to do is we have to learn how to put those in their own container, and just understand that those will be with us for life. And we can change our relationship to those broken parts of ourselves so that they don't kind of immerse us. But those things just don't go away. So thank you very much for that comment. Another viewer writes, even if I was applying for a job or negotiating a refund, my mother told me exactly what to say. She wasn't necessarily wishing for my downfall. She simply believed I could not do anything without her superior wisdom. If I tried, she became annoyed that I wasn't listening, and it was often easier just to do what she said. And this is one of the more subtler forms of effigism, right? It's not always that the parents just sit there in front of us and say, you're bad, stupid, and wrong, and all of that kind of stuff. There's this insidious kind of undermining of our own competency. It's like, oh, you're going to do that wrong. Let me do it for you. There was a story in my uncle who, my grandfather was very effigistic, and one of the things that he did is my uncle had ordered this little radio kit where he could assemble this radio, build his own radio, so to speak. And the kit came, and my grandfather was like, you're too stupid to do this correctly, and you're going to ruin it, so I'll build it for you. And so the kit came, and my grandfather put it all together. And when my uncle arrived home, here was the kit already finished, because he was too dumb to do this himself, right? I mean, that was the implicit message. And those kinds of things, just they're little insidious little cuts to our sense of self. And what makes things like that so difficult to describe to other people is that when you just use an example like that, like the radio thing, somebody could easily say, oh, well, your grandfather just wanted to make sure, or in this case, my uncle, his dad just wanted to, wanted to make sure he could enjoy his radio. And it's like, I understand that you're trying to make an excuse for his behavior, because the thought of somebody undermining their child that way can feel icky. But what that does is that when people make excuses for the effigist, and they're just trying to be helpful, is that it really just kind of dismisses the experience of the kid, right? Or of the spouse or the partner of the person who is constantly being undermined. And if it was only one situation, that would be different. But there's oftentimes just this constant, just kind of behavioral approach toward us, where we're not smart, we're not capable, there's something wrong with us, so let me be the one to come in and show you how to do it. And if you reject that, then all of a sudden it's not like the effigistic parent can go, oh man, was I overstepping my boundaries? I'm sorry. You know what? If you need any help, I would be happy to help you in any way that I can, right? I mean, that's what like a normal, healthy parent would do, but an effigistic parent would be kind of like, how dare you reject my help? This just further proves how much you are bad, right? Or there's something wrong with you that you wouldn't accept my help. And that's a very common thing. So that's all I just wanted to jump on those three today. And every Monday, I'm just going to read three more of yours and do a response. And I just one more time just want to say how much I really appreciate all of your thoughts and comments, because man, this stuff is just really spot on. And what you guys are saying, and the comments that you're leaving, and the questions that you are asking really tell me that there's something here that's really resonating with a lot of people. So I will see you guys soon. Thanks a lot for all of your comments, folks. I'll talk to you soon.